Right, that, of course, is the classic, most famous of the Mr. Big tunes with "To Be With You." And on the line right now, we have Mr. Big returning member, I guess, and as well as solo artist, and well, just all around great bass player and great guy. It's Billy Sheehan. Billy, how you doing, man?
Thank you, Chris. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. Well, Billy, a lot going on in your world these days. You have a brand new solo album out called "Holy Cow." In addition to having a reunion, a long-awaited reunion for a lot of us with Mr. Big. So, I guess an obvious first place to start is what got into your bloodstream to pump everything back up all of a sudden.
Well, it's usually been at this level, but it's just that various corners of the world find out about it, and some don't. But I was doing a solo record. I had Paul Gilbert from Mr. Big play a solo on it, and we started talking. And next thing you know, we jammed together a couple times in L.A. A couple of emails went back and forth. We had Eric Martin fly in, and we had a dinner together, and decided to play together again as Mr. Big, which is I couldn't be more happy about it. And it's a real reunion generated by the band, not generated by anybody dangling cash in front of us. So we're just looking forward to playing together and all over the place. Right now, Japan is first, but that's just the beginning. We're going to play all over the place every opportunity we get.
Sure. Now it's interesting.
So cool.
Well, it is cool. And the interesting thing about it, Billy, is the fact that you guys are kind of doing it at a time where you're all busier than maybe you've been in a while. I mean, Eric has solo stuff with that Mr. Vocalist project, and Paul has a brand new record, and you do as well. I guess where I'm trying to go with this is... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. It just kind of happened and fell in at this time. And by chance, it happens to be our 20-year reunion, too, because we started in '89. Our first record was out, so 2009, that's 20 years. So all this, just like some odd, strange cosmic convergence happened here, Chris. I can't explain it. Funny.
Sure. Now, Billy, for you especially, man, I mean, you are, and I'm sure you know this, you and Paul both, but especially you are widely regarded as one of the very, very few name bassists out there. You know, I mean, obviously what you do with the bass is closer to playing a guitar with four strings than it is to actually, thumping along with the drum tracks. With that in mind, is it difficult for you to isolate into specific projects? Because I mean, you're well known for going out with Mr. Big or with David Lee Roth or within a band structure.
Yeah.
But yet you're not the kind of player that just seems content to play, to thump along a 4/4 beat.
Well, I am sometimes. I do what's required of me, for the song. If the song, like in "To Be With You," there's not any bass solos, There's
right.
A lot of Mr. Big stuff that I just got to play basic bass, and it's good to do that. I like to do that. When I played recently, I did a bunch of tours with Steve Vai, and I supporting him as a player, behind him, just giving big giant whole notes and making sure it sounds good for him. So I don't mind doing any aspect of bass playing, and I do appreciate and love simple, basic bass too, because it's a beautiful thing, locking up with the drums. It's a great thing. But also, once in a while, to put a little frosting on the cake and some sprinkles on there too, do some wacky stuff.
Right.
But I'm very content playing any kind of bass. I still love to play bass after many, many years of playing. I still love to sit down. I have it in my lap as we speak right now, so it's always around.
Excellent. Well, Billy, in addition to Mr. Big, you obviously have a brand new solo record, simply called "Holy Cow," and it's. I'm going to be honest. When I receive a CD from Billy Sheehan or a Richie Kotzen or a Vinnie Moore, whom have you, that is a quote unquote solo record, I'm expecting a lot of playing, not much vocals, and not really a rock record. And you delivered exactly the opposite of that. This is a very rockin' record.
Well, cool. Yeah, that was to listen to a record. I'm a fan of so much music, and I want to hear something that's enjoyable for me as a fan. Once in a while to go off into a self-indulgent thing is a fun, enjoyable thing, but I really wanted to make some cool songs that people can sing along with and enjoy, and some lyrics that had some depth to them, and make a real record as opposed to just a showcase of solo stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure. Now you worked with some celebrity people on the new record. Who all did you work with?
Well, amazingly, somehow, by the grace of who knows who, Billy Gibbons comes over to my house and lays a solo down on a song called "A Little Bit'll Do It to You Every Time," and it just blew my mind because I'm a huge ZZ Top fan and a huge Billy Gibbons fan. And what a wonderful guy, what a genius, brilliant player. And to have him on my little record is one of the greatest honors of my life. And I'm so pleased and so thankful he was able to do that. Very
Excellent.
cool. And then Paul Gilbert from Mr. Big did 2 solos on this one song, Dynamic Exhilarator. Doug Pinnick from King Zax came and sang a track. Awesome. What a voice. What a great band, King Zax. And he killed on it, too. And then I played bass, played guitar, harmonica, sang, and everything. The drummer is Ray Lugier. Ray is out with Korn right now, drumming for Korn. A big tour they just started in Denver the other night, and they're making their way across the U.S., so amazing drumming. So I was very lucky to get some great people to really contribute to it and help make it a record that I believe people will enjoy.
Absolutely. Now, Billy, in your past, one of the guys that you've worked with, and certainly this guy's a legend himself, Mr. David Lee Roth. As you look on, you've worked with the guy, you know the ins and outs of working with David. What did you think about him returning to Van Halen? Because I'm sure at the time you worked with him, that was the last thing that was ever going to happen.
That's true, Chris. I was super happy. I was so glad for Dave. I mean, when Dave loved Van Halen and we started the Eat 'em and Smile thing, I was really glad and happy. But boy, I loved Van Halen. I loved Van Halen with Dave in it, so I was kind of torn inside. Seeing him back with the band again is great. I wish they had the original lineup. That's the only sad part of it. I mean, his son is in there, and that's good. Good for him. That's great. But for me as a fan, I like to see the original lineup of the band that played the stuff that I fell in love with, Van Halen. So that's one of the reasons in Mr. Big for us to do the original lineup with the original guys, an actual band. We really want to make it as real as possible with that. And I wish that would have happened with Van Halen, with having Michael Anthony on bass. But, you take what you can get. Seeing Dave and Eddie together is an awesome thing, too.
Sure. Well, there's still time, too. You never know.
You never know.
So speaking of the Mr. Big reunion, Billy, clearly you were able to put the lineup back together, the original lineup, and when Mr. Big, and I'll say more, not necessarily when you guys ended, but around 97, 98, whatever it was, when Richie Kotzen joined the band and Paul left. There was some bad blood between the members, which eventually did end the band. How do you get past that without it, without the fear of it creeping back into things, once you guys are, out and spending time together again and, out on the road and whatnot?
Well, you change your ways, change your point of view, evolve, grow up a little bit more, and forgive and forget without unacknowledging what went on before. You got to be aware of it. But Richie Kotzen was in the band for a while. We love Richie. Richie's a dear friend of all of us, Paul's, Eric's, mine, and Pat. And we just thought, if we're going to do it again and make a lot of people happy, my inbox is packed with emails that are just very pleased people. We kind of it's our duty to make it happen for real and to do it for real. So to make sure that these things don't crop up again, we just sat down and had a long conversation about everything that went on, and I think we cleared the air very well, very effectively. And some of the elements that were around us before are no longer around us. And as I said, we've evolved, all of us as people, as players. And it happens with every band. It happens all the time. It happens with every relationship.
Sure.
You move on, and then you figure it out and move up. So I'm real happy to be back with all the guys. And even if we weren't playing, just the fact that we're all friends again is makes me very happy. So that's a good thing. But on top of it, icing on the cake is that we are playing together again, which is just fantastic. So we're very cool.
Sure. Now, is it difficult? Is it difficult from the business side of it to bring it back together? And the reason I ask is because when you guys were a band initially, you basically united front, one management team, et cetera. All of the business was kind of a group effort. As you come back, obviously Eric has a manager, and you have a manager, and Paul has a manager, and it's bringing a lot to the table.
Look at your screen right now. If you're tired of the hide-and-seek games with big tech, where links disappear and episodes get throttled, I've got the fix. I'm Chris Akin, And it's time for me to show you how to take back your access to the Classic Metal Show, the Seth Williams Show, and Chris Akin Presents. Pick up your phone, go to the App Store or Google Play, and download the Locals app. It is 100% free. Once you're in, just search for the CMS Network. You're going to see everything. Every interview, every unfiltered rant, every deep dive music discussion, every uncensored news article we put up, all in one centralized, uncensored hub. No more chasing links across 5 different socials. This is our home. But if you really want the keys to the kingdom, look for that VIP upgrade. For just $4.99 a month, you're cutting out the commercials, getting the advanced drops before anyone else, and accessing bonus episodes that are way too heavy, dirty, or we just don't want to share with the free public. For the price of a cheap beer, you're supporting independent, unapologetic media. Download the Locals app today. Get some CMS wherever you are. And if you're a real one, join the VIP squad at classicmetalshow.locals.com. The Classic Metal Show and the CMS Network. It's uncensored. It's unapologetic. We will see you there.
You know, we actually allowed one manager to take care of everything, and one guy does. So one guy, we have a unified thing
cool.
behind one manager who is a fantastic, experienced, world-renowned expert, and he knows exactly what to do. We're very confident with him. All of us are. He's running the show and doing great and keeping things from the band so we can get on with making music and not get involved in that stuff, which is one of the problems before. So that's a real good thing we put in place right away up front to make sure that things go smoothly and easily. So that's really easy. And the business pretty much takes care of itself. Once promoters found out we were back together, the offers came rolling in Japan. And Budokan sold out. I tell people Budokan sold out in 5 minutes, but
wow.
In fact it sold out in 3 minutes.
Jeez.
5 minutes, 3 minutes sounded too unbelievable, so I lied. It said it was 5. So that's all good. And boy, what a great feeling to be back together with a situation like that. And it's a good thing, Chris. Really
absolutely. Cool. Now, Billy, I want to look back a little bit. I actually have seen Mr. Big 3 or 4 times, but 2 times specifically, I saw you guys with Rush, and I know you as a one of these virtuoso type players, to be out there on a tour and be able to see Neil Peart every night. That had to be something as a musician, not necessarily as a player, but to watch somebody, of equal caliber on a different instrument. What was it?
Well, we had a blast. And one thing I got to say about the guys in Rush, to many people that don't actually know them personally, what a nice bunch. We had a great time. They're the most friendly, gracious, generous people you could imagine. And nothing makes me happier when I meet somebody that's famous or well known and have them be an incredible person. And Geddy, Alex, and Neil were 3 of the finest people I've ever met, and they were so nice to us. On top of being spectacular players, so it's always good to see that, because many times you see somebody who's a great player, maybe you catch them on a bad day or something like that, and you wonder what kind of person they are. But the guys in Rush were just fantastic. They were so nice to Mr. Big. They took us out on tour with them twice, and we played a lot of big shows with those guys, and Neil is just awesome. Alex, incredible. Geddy, who can say more about Geddy's bass playing and singing, is just great. It was an amazing experience.
Absolutely. And was Mr. Big really well received? Because obviously what you guys were doing at the time was far different than what Rush has ever done.
We did real good. As a matter of fact, Geddy commented it's the first time he'd seen girls in the front row of a Rush show since they played in Toronto. So that was good. We brought a nice cross-section of people, and a lot of people liked both bands. We scored encores often, and it was a very, very incredible experience, musically, personally, and career-wise, too. It was a big help to us.
Now, Billy, one thing I do know about the current, the rebirth of Mr. Big, so to speak, is that you guys did record a couple of new songs for a greatest hits package. And how was the recording? And was it kind of like, just jumping right back in, or was it a different vibe now, or how exactly did it feel?
Well, we had some stuff from long ago that we just kind of retweaked.
Okay.
And oddly enough, it was the perfect song because it's called Next Time Around.
Okay,
And
cool.
the lyrics are about having something happen a long time ago that we can move on from, and now the next time around we're going to get it right. And that just happened by chance again, too. And from the outside it may look like we planned it, but in fact we didn't. But we have since worked a lot together, shooting video, been on a PR trip to Japan, and it's just like getting back on a bicycle again. It's the same thing comes back, the same comedy comes into play. It is quite a comedy festival backstage and on a side stage, so we're just having a wonderful time. It's very cool. There's no problems at all.
Excellent.
That's the truth.
So is there plans, in the future for actually getting back together and recording, or is this kind of wait and see how everything plays out, or where are you at?
There's no specific plan, but I would expect that would happen, just as a natural occurrence. I'm sure. Well, I'd love to record again. I'd love to do some more songs. We've all got lots of great stuff. We'd love to contribute to a band album. So that's very likely that'll happen. We will have a lot of live playing to do, though, because of the band. We still have South America and Europe. In Italy, there's 5 or 6 Mr. Big copy bands that play around. So Mr. Big is gigantic in Italy. And all across Europe, all across South America, Australia, Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, China, Taiwan, Japan, of course, Korea. We do well in Russia. We got offers to go there. So, and all across the U.S. as well, from New York to L.A. and all points in between. So it's going to be a busy time for us, but you couldn't make me happier.
Absolutely.
Having this happen. This is great.
So does with Mr. Big clearly, exploding on you, does that kind of put the solo effort sort of on the back burner, with the exception of releasing the record?
No, I'm probably going to go out this fall. It's actually only 20 days we have booked in Japan right now, and we'll take some time off. Paul's going to do some playing. Eric's going to do some playing on their own, and we're going to get back together again, do some more shows. But in the meantime, I may go out on tour, hopefully with the drummer Ray from Korn, Ray Legier, to go out on tour with him for Holy Cow and my other 2 solo records that have been out, Compression and Cosmic Troubadour. So there's just a full schedule, and it's a great thing that I can just be full-time musician, playing and recording all the time. I couldn't be more thankful and blessed to have that happen to me. And so the more crowded the schedule is, the happier I am.
Absolutely. Well, the schedule includes 2 releases this year of Mr. Big Greatest Hits called Next Time Around, as well as the brand new Billy Sheehan solo record, which is called Holy Cow. And Billy, what am I missing before I let you go?
Nothing. That's it for now. We'll be playing and touring and releasing and hanging around. I'm on MySpace and Facebook, and I'm Billy at BillySheehan.com. If anyone wants to drop me a line, I read it, I get it, I answer it if I can, and I'm glad to be in touch with people all over the place via email. Thank God for the internet. And so if anyone wants to get in touch, I'd love to hear from people.
Excellent. Well, Billy, before I let you go, I have to ask you what is known as the traditional classic metal show question. We ask everybody this, and as a bass player, you may just have a good answer. You may not, but here it is anyway. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Greatly. The Ace of Spades is one of the greatest recorded pieces of art ever made. I see Lemmy often down at the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset Boulevard. We've hung a bunch. I've had a few drinks with him. I can't quite keep up with that level, but boy, what an incredible inspiration. I love Lemmy. I love his playing, and I've seen him live a bunch of times. Great guy. Again, a walking encyclopedia of knowledge. Very intelligent, educated person. Wonderful. Great guy. I absolutely love Lemmy.
Right on. All right, Billy. Well, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. So what would you like us to end the interview with, and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
What about a little bit of Do It To You Every Time from Holy Cow?
All right.
Do you have that?
I most certainly do.
This is great. This is the song. Billy Gibbons came to my house and picked up a $100 Chinese Strat and laid it down. Amazing soloing. From the first note you hear him play, you can tell it's him. And what a great honor to have Billy on guitar. I play harmonica, baritone guitar, bass, Ray Luzier from Korn on drums, and this is a little bit of Do It To You Every Time.
Well, let's check it out right here. It is the Classic Metal Show.
You've listened to the interviews, but you haven't heard the whole story. I'm Chris Akin, and I'm inviting you to get behind the curtain. The Classic Metal Show is now on Substack, and if you aren't a VIP subscriber, you are missing out on the real meat of these conversations. We're talking about VIP exclusive content, extended interviews, raw industry takes, and the type of high-octane access that my 30 years in this business gets you. Don't just be a fan, be an insider. Get the unfiltered, world-class rock and metal content you crave without the corporate filters. Go to cmspn.substack.com and upgrade to VIP today. That's cmspn.substack.com. Own your access.